Cole and I forget why. This is great. We had a vicious fist fight one time. Like, we were brothers, and this is, again, puberty, you know, brothers fight. We were, like, scrapping in the back, and we were taking it through the hallways.
But now you've made the right choice, and
Yes.
not a mistake. You are a
that.
wonderful husband with a beautiful wife. I want to know the best part about being married and having that.
I really like the mornings in general. Mornings are really great. Just because, like, there is a very, like, calm and collected satisfaction of, like, waking up next to your wife, which is a cool thing to say, by the way, like, my wife, and also in a Borat voice. It's fun, too. But when you, like, roll over and you see your beautiful wife and she's asleep, and then you see your dog and you're in your house and the things that you, like, created, it's very calming and it's very nice, and it makes you want to work harder. You know, for so many years of my life, even though I have a twin, I was working for myself, you know, because that's what you do. You try to develop yourself.
Yes.
But then when we started dating, and we got engaged, and basically from when I started dating, I was like, oh, I have someone to work for, which makes me feel very happy, and that was nice. So that's the best part.
You're still kind of a newlywed.
I know, I am still a newlywed. Although I do like to think of it like we've been actually married since we started dating, because that's really the way that we've always interacted with each other. So this was actually just making it official for the family.
Oh, that is a beautiful way to say it. You all met in 2018, right? Your first date?
Yeah, we met a long time ago, and I was filming in Beijing, China at that time when we started dating. So it was wild. We have a lot of experiences together.
Look her up, y'all. She's a supermodel.
She's
Absolutely gorgeous.
Love my life right there.
Of course, you and your brother, I mean, you hit the screen, Zack and Cody, years ago, and now you all are still working, doing your darn thing. Cole recently did some news and some headlines talking about the sweet life of Zack and Cody, everyone's favorite, and he mentioned that it was a blur to him. Some certain things he couldn't really remember. Is that the same thing for you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe to specify, if I had to guess what Cole was actually saying, is that I think people, like, when they think of the show, they're like, the episode, right? They think about the episode, but, like, when you're working on a show for 7 years, the episodes kind of all blend into one. What you do remember is the experience of being on set, working. Because it's like going to school. You're seeing the same people every day, you're doing your job, and then you're going home. So I don't really remember much of the episodes, but I do remember working on the show. I remember what is funny is when we first started working on The Sweet Life, Raven was kind of finishing up her show, and I remember we had to do like a Disney promo, and I was like, we were talking. It was the first time we really got to talking, and mind you, I was 11, and I forget how old she was at the time, but she was definitely older and wiser. But I asked her, I was like, what's your favorite episode? You know, like, which one do you like? And she was like, oh, Dylan, you're not going to remember any of those once you get to my age. And I was like, no, that's not true. Like, I'll remember them. And she was right. She nailed it on the head. But I do remember her telling me that, so look at that.
What's your best memory, if you could kind of put everything together? What is your best memory of playing that role back in the day on Sweet Life?
I know my favorite episode.
Please.
I will say that. My favorite episode was from the first show, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and it was the bowling episode. I remember that episode in general was super fun because we actually got to bowl, but it was also just all of the ensemble of the cast and crew coming together to do like a super chaotic episode, and just like the personality clashes, and that was like the first time I was like, whoa, this is what acting looks like on this level, because there were so many characters all competing and having their moments, and I was like, that was my favorite episode. So
y'all were always so copacetic, so cohesive. Was there ever a time that you and your brother, like, y'all fought, you know? Did you?
Cole and I forget why. This is great. We had a vicious fist fight one time. Like, we were brothers, and this is, again, puberty, you know, brothers fight. We were like scrapping in the back, and we were taking it through the hallways. We were like, oh, like wrestling and fighting. And I remember we got a knock on the dressing room door because we had like dragged each other, and we were doing WWE moves. And we get a knock on the door, and the door opens, and it's a fan. And she was like, hey, would you mind if I took a picture with you? And I was literally over Cole like this. And Cole goes, do you want to come back in 5 minutes? And she's like, yeah, sure. She shuts the door, and we both busted up laughing so hard we didn't even know why we were fighting.
When it comes to you and Cole, we want to see you back on screen together. I mean, could I possibly get a grown version of, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or I don't know, like...
I don't know about
The
that.
Sexy Life of Zack and Cody. I don't.
Ooh, Sexy Life.
You got the hair that's
That's
this way
HBO.
now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, there's just not many opportunities for like good twin roles, that aren't taken by a single actor trying their hand at playing two people. So I feel like if we did do something together, we would have to make it, which is definitely not off the table. But we'll see. There's always time for that.
Have you guys brainstormed anything? Like what type of project would you want to be in together?
We've talked, but we want to make sure it's really good. I think that there's that expectation now that it's been so many years.
Yes.
So if we do something together, we want to make it really tight.
Okay, give me one teaser. What would the genre be if you and Cole got together and did a film or a show?
Oh, I don't know. Probably like intergalactic space battles.
Please tell me that's not Abby.
It's definitely Abby.
What happened to Manny Petty's? What are you doing?
You said it was a topical speech.
That doesn't apply to foreigners.
Leave me alone. Really?
I love you, Pigeon. This is a pro-con list.
Just to see if we should get a quick annulment. I even gave us a head start because you have the biggest...
Who's got the big...
Look, I know I can be possessive.
What I mean?
You're suffocating her.
She's my wife.
She has a bad habit of disappearing, and I don't want that to happen to either of us.
For those of the fans who are not necessarily familiar with Beautiful Disaster, I Had a Beautiful Wedding, which is the sequel, can you tell us about what they can get excited for with this film?
Yeah, so this film picks up right where the other one left off, and it is, we both wake up in Vegas completely hungover, and we find out that we are now newlyweds at 19 years old. And we are also being chased by a Vegas gangster, and we need to make a quick escape to Mexico, where we also plan to do our honeymoon at the same time. And hilarity ensues.
The entire time, like every other scene, it is something crazy happening.
It's a fun, chaotic movie, but you know what? I love it. What can I say?
I want you to take us behind the scenes. What was the most fun had? And what was that vibe like in the atmosphere?
Well, we have a great cast and crew in general. I'm a firm believer that like you don't really want to make a sequel to a movie like that unless you actually like the people you're working with. So we had a great cast and crew, and we had actually, the movies were filmed pretty close back to back to each other. So we had just worked together, and we were all excited to do it. I'm privy to liking the action combat scenes because I'm just like, that's unfamiliar territory for me. So I had a lot of fun doing the beach one in the second movie where I had to fight like 10 guys. I'm pissed off.
And then you turned into a cartoon?
I know, the cartoon stuff was funny too. I was like, I didn't even know that happened. But the funny thing is they just animated what I was actually doing. So there was part of it where I was like, dude, what the heck?
Why you took me out?
Well, I was doing that. Why did I train for that?